Any place you go and you say, I'm an auctioneer, one of the very first things they say, are you one of those fast talkers? Yes, I am.
7,500.
I got 25, 30 now, 35, 5, 5, 5. And 40 now, 40, we get 40, we get 40.
It's one of the rarest Hudsons that you could ever dream about buying. Put it in your collection, get behind the wheel and drive it and enjoy it and show your friends. 375, you want to get 400,000? Yes, 400, and now 425.
175. Sold it right there, $150, number 142.
And pretty soon you get into the groove, as they say, and you can just roll all day, you know.
Well, I've been doing it now since 1962 is when I graduated. So this is my 50th year.
I've done Johnson County 4-H sale for 53 years. Missed 2 sales. One of them was on our graduation from the Certified Auctioneers Institute, was on the same day.
I still get butterflies. And after 3,500 of these, I still get butterflies.
Until the last couple of years, I had done anyway from 125 to 200 auctions a year.
If you're not nervous before the auction when you start them, you should quit selling. And if there's not a little fire inside about, that you still like to do it, you probably shouldn't sell.
It's truly a talent, a God-gifted talent.
I look at it as a God-given talent.
And it's an art. It's an amazing art, and it's mesmerizing to the people on the streets.
I was always impressed with the way Darrell Ball, when the cattle came in and so forth, that he clicked them off and that somebody could speak that fast, sell, and keep the numbers all together.
I got a $1 bidder down, $2, $2 bidder down, $2, $2 bidder down, $2 down, 2, give me $2, who, give me $2, $2 bidder down, 3 down, 3, we get $3 down, $4, $4 down, 5 to get 5, 5 to get $5 down, $4 down, 5 to get $5 down, 5. That was all in the same breath.
I've done over 7,000 auctions in my time. Sold about everything you can think of,
When I was younger, it wasn't uncommon for me to take a breath and just do that for 20 seconds and then take another breath and do it for another 20 seconds and just do that all day long.
Okay, open the gate here and let them walk there. Bring them in here and shove them out there. I ain't bit $1 there, down $2 here, down $3 there, down $4 there, down $5, mama, $6 there, down $7.
And 375 and now 400, and 4 1/4, 4 1/2, 475, 500.
And what am I bid for? Somebody get 3,000. I have 1,000 bids. Somebody get 1,500. Now 2,000. 22 and a half. 2,500.
14, but a 15. I know you like the painting, ma'am. 15. Thank you now, 16 and 17.
All business is show business. People come to our auction to experience the ultimate customer experience.
Hot Wheels racetrack. Next on the auction here, guys. Somebody get 150. We'll get 25 on the Hot Wheels. Somebody get 25. 5, 10, $10. 10, 5, 50. Down 5.
It's the purest way in the world to sell.
Got a farm rat over here that he's talking about.
Honest in everything you do, so that your word is gold.
Really and truly, the pleasing that you get comments, kiss on the cheek type of thing for doing a good job.
But if you take on the task, why, do your very, very best, no matter what the size of the auction is, no matter who you're working for.
It changes. I mean, you don't know exactly what you're going to get into until you return the phone call and you go on site.
And even though I've been in the auction business over 30 years, there's still stuff you see, on a monthly basis that you've never seen before. And I just love that part of it, learning more of our history and, what our, parents did, grandparents did.
Sold about everything you can think of,
I've sold Arabian horses, sold tractors and combines.
A live turkey. Sold, $2,100.
Sold them 550.
Sold 22 and a half.
Sold $15.
Sold right here, $425,000, and you'll like it, sir.
I've had some interesting auctions. Can I tell you a story about one?
If you turn that off, I can tell you some stories.
I went to auction school right out of high school as a trade school, 2-week course in Kansas City, and knew pretty well then that's what I wanted to do with my life after watching other auctioneers and admiring their lifestyle and their talents.
And I got started in the auction business. I used to, at Chipshawana, drive the cattle up and down the aisles, and we used to mock the auctioneers.
My brother went to auction school ahead of me, and that made my footsteps a little easier for me to follow him. And He went on to be world champion. I went on to be some runner-up championships, and never quite made the world, but was very pleased and honored to get the ranks that I've got.
So one night, the auctioneer, we had some late calves come in. The auctioneer called me up, which later turned out to be my father-in-law, called me up and says, come up here and sell the calves, let's see how good you are. And I sold the calf. Of course, I didn't know when I had it sold, so I just kept going. And they said, well, it brought 3 cents more a pound than what any of the other calves that brought that evening. So that kind of made me wet my whistle, as the old saying is. So
My father was an auctioneer, became an auctioneer. Basically, I was born in 1943, and he started the auction business in 1944. And so from the time I was about 8 years old, I went with him to the auctions a lot. One day he was busy on the telephone when they wanted to start the auction with the calves, so the clerk put me on the stool and said, here, you can take care of these calves. And so when my father came back, I was selling the calves.
You know, I think in my, gosh, almost 50 years of selling, that I've probably had laryngitis to the point that I couldn't perform no more than 2 or 3 times, seriously, over those years. And I worked auctions every day, 4 and 5 a week.
We started that auction at 9 o'clock in the morning. I sold the last item at 4:30 the next morning. I went to a 7-Eleven, microwaved a sandwich, went home, took a shower, and went to the next sale.
And so we used to do a countdown, 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, sold. So we did that one day with this auction, and the guy was standing there, and we said, sold, for whatever the price was, and the guy dropped over with a heart attack. So about 3 days later, the guy finally came to, and the first thing he said to the nurse was, did I get the property? So actually my brother took the purchase agreement over, and he had one of those oxygen tents back in those days, and he signed the purchase agreement through the oxygen tent. They handed it in there and he signed it. So he ended up living and buying it.
I was selling an on-site sale, and the gentleman that had passed away had a pet turkey. And I said, I don't want to sell the turkey. Well, we're not going to kill it. You sell it, somebody else can enjoy it. So I listed live turkey. So auction day came up, and the brother-in-law of the deceased, he just had to be a part. And he reached down, and you can usually hold a turkey like this, upside down with their legs, and they just will hang there for you. But when he did it, and he flipped the turkey down, the turkey decided to fly. So the turkey takes off, and he was there with the turkey trying to fly, you know, standing in the air, standing there. And I didn't know if he was strong enough to hold it or not. And I'm supposed to sell this turkey.
I was in the Navy, and we were out at sea. We did a round-the-world cruise. Each week, a different division puts on a program. Our division officer said, it's our turn to do, what do you want to do this week? And I stepped up and I said, let's do an auction. And he says, an auction? Out here? I said, yeah. He said, you're in charge. They liked it so well that we did one about once a month after that, till we come back to the States. I came home on a Friday evening, and on Saturday I started my first auction the next day, and been going ever since.
What excites me and what made me want to get into the business is we as auctioneers are the trusted advisors. We are the problem solvers of people who are going through estates, they're going through divorce, or they're downsizing, or maybe they're losing their business.
I had a man kiss me on the cheek from the most sincere sale I ever had. It was a federal bankruptcy sale. The president of that company stopped the sale, come up to me and kissed me on the cheek because they paid you off the mortgage. And that was a blessing to have somebody do that for you.
You know, you don't take nothing for granted in this auction business. You realize that it is a gift. It's a talent that was given to you that a lot of folks don't have. And you never want to ever forget your roots. You always want to go back to them, and you never ever want to forget where you come from.
Try to do the best job you possibly can, be fair and correct as many people as I was able to do. You take those things in mind, and I think you could be a happy person making a good, fair living in the auction business.